No one prepares you for the grief that comes, especially with family, because of a mismatched resonance. And what I mean by that is, I'll give you a brief example. I've been noticing over the past year especially that I've been having less and less to do with my family. And it's shifted more so when I have made conscious decisions to let go of a lot of the habits of the person that I used to be. And so I let go of a lot of the old identity of the person that my family recognizes. And now I am noticing, without even being around them, I am feeling the gap with some more than others, that I feel like they're just fading away. And I'm talking immediate family, like parents, siblings. And for most of my life, I have allowed people to come and go out of my life. And I don't think that there is anything out there that can prepare you for what that's like with family. Because as a society, we have this concept that family is for life. But on this journey, on my journey, where I make choices to embody more light and make healthier, balanced choices, and also be more connected with myself and nature, I am noticing that it sets me apart greatly between myself and my family. And so today I had a moment where I realized the significance of the gap between myself and one of my family members. And it's a parent. And it's not that anybody did anything wrong, it's just that we're not resonating anymore. And I've been noticing this for a while, even without, there's been no physical contact unless I want to reach out. And there's no animosity, there's no conflicting energies between us. It has nothing to do with any of that. I am talking about just two people where the resonance and the gap just starts to widen. And I think it's easier when you have animosity towards somebody for there to be distance, but this is just based off of where I'm going, how I'm shifting, and I'm not expecting anyone to climb on and join a board and just roll with me. I have no expectations of that. I honor everyone's journey, and I understand. And this is the thing, I understand where everyone is coming from. But it still doesn't take away what comes up, the things that, the attachments, the grief that comes up to feel when those realizations come in that it's changed, things are changing again. And I have thought about this for quite some time. In the beginning of my journey, about 5 years ago, my first question when I started to understand this world and the frequency, and knowing that this is about vibrations rising and that some may not rise as quickly as others. And my honest fear was what's going to happen to my family. Because they're not as open-minded about my journey. And so I've kept myself, I did share in the beginning with some, I will say I did share a little bit in the beginning. And I think I was met to a degree where it was something that really excited me. So I was able to share to an extent until it made them uncomfortable. And I knew that was my cap at where I could talk about what was going on in my world and what I was experiencing. So I kept it to myself, and I kept myself pretty small, and I went out into the world, and especially around my family, thinking to myself, they have no idea who I really am. I can't even be myself around them. I can't even be who I really, really am around them. And that's probably one of the hardest things. Because it's not that I didn't try. And I did. And so this is kind of bringing up a lot of these emotions for me, because now I've realized I've kept myself so small so that I wouldn't cause waves in their energy. I kept myself small so I wouldn't make them uncomfortable. And in return, I made myself uncomfortable for so long. And nobody else did that to me. I did that. I allowed their reactions to dictate how much of myself I was going to put, how much of myself I was going to express. Yesterday, I told myself no more. That I was going to be myself. I was going to voice whatever I felt I needed to say when I needed to say it. And not shove anything in anyone's face, but just to be me. Or if I didn't feel like talking, I wasn't going to talk. I just was not going to second guess or monitor everyone's energy to see if I was safe. I decided that it's not mine to carry anymore. It's not mine. What their reactions are, with how they feel, that's not my concern anymore. And I've held that for a long time. I've really put them first for a long, long time. And in secret and in hiding, having my own journey. And so when it came to today, what I realized, I ask myself, especially today, what does this look like moving forward? Especially when other family members might not be on the same journey. And it might not even be their journey in this lifetime. And I've made peace with that. I have made peace with how everyone else wants to live their life. But it just really opened up something in me that when I asked the question, what does this look like moving forward? And I felt the emotions today. I felt the grief. I released everything that I needed to release. And after I did that, it was like this warm comfort just took its place. And I felt okay. And I felt neutral about it all. Because that's the part of my journey. That's part of where I'm at. Where when I release something, it doesn't take hours or days. It might come in waves, but it's released and then it's like, it's gone. It's gone. And there might be some crying emotions and then all of a sudden it's like, done. And I'm like, okay, that's all I needed to release, apparently. And I can see things objectively, especially now. I don't feel the attachments that I felt before. I don't feel the sadness that I felt before. I have, between then and posting and doing this video, had waves come through where it's just been kind of filtering up and then it dissipates to nothing. Like, it doesn't even reach up for me to produce tears. And I realize it's just the attachments that I have that are being released. And it's the grief of my old identity. Because I was asked today, as I was driving home, would you have enjoyed yourself if you had been invited? And the moment that I was asked that and I thought about it, I felt so much discord in my body. And I was like, I know, I understand. And I can understand, but I can also feel the hurt, that part of the attachment. I actually know it was not being acknowledged, not being seen. That was the main reason. That's what it brought up. That's what it hit inside of me. I wasn't thought of. And I think there's this part of me growing up that you think that your family is going to be with you until they die. And when I was young, I wasn't taught that at some point in my life, I'm going to grieve people in my life that are still alive because of a mismatch in resonance. And I always, in the back of my mind, knew, I had an idea, of course, but I didn't understand how deep and how raw that feels when it actually happens. And it's not going to be the last time. I mean, I've had times before where I just wanted so badly for my family to come and visit me, to come and see me. And I'm even in the same province now, right? So, and I went through motions of that too, of feeling hurt. But this one was different. I literally felt the gap, and I've been feeling the gap for quite some time. That I don't even, because even before I felt something, there was still something that made me feel that I felt tied to them, or especially like one of my parents. And that was an attachment. So at least I felt some sort of connection between them. And I've been feeling over the last while, I've been feeling that fade more and more and more. And today it just hit me that there is nothing. I felt nothing. And that's why I asked myself, what does this look like moving forward? Where does this go? Am I going to have more interactions with them? Is this going to be obsolete? Are they just going to be a memory? That is not something I have an answer to right now. I will at some point. And when I do, I definitely will share it. This is probably one of the topics that I've been avoiding for quite some time. Talking about how I feel, especially when it comes to my family. It feels very taboo. And I think I feel like a big part of it is because if any one of them were to come online and see this, I don't want to hurt anyone. But I also think it opens up for judgment, and maybe the gap will become even wider. The gap between will have even more distance. But I think at this point, that's the risk I'm going to take, to kind of break free from the prison that I've put myself in by putting them first. And this time, it's time for me to put myself first. So I have so much to share. I have so much wisdom, so many stories, so much insight, so much magic. I have so much to share. And by keeping myself small for so long, I just wasn't ready. And I wasn't ready to be vulnerable. I wasn't ready to be open, to share the deepest parts of myself that I've kept hidden under lock and key, that I don't let the world see. I love my journey. There's no part of everything that I have gone through that I regret. This box, this door that's been opened for me for the last 5 years has been the most challenging and beautiful journey of my life. And it's a whole nother world than what I was living before. And I absolutely love it, especially now with a more regulated nervous system, a deeper connection with my body, and even having nature respond back to my energy, where I'm creating with it, co-creating with it, like partnership. And same with my body and how I feel when I wake up in the morning, like this childlike wonder and feeling alive. It's like the gold at the end of the rainbow. And I see so many people who comment on social media saying, when is it going to happen? This is so challenging. I am so exhausted. I'm so tired. I hear you. But I am going to tell you, keep going. Because piercing through that veil to the other side and embodying that light anchored in earth, here on earth, is absolutely beautiful. That feeling of feeling heaven on earth, where you have a situation that comes, and instead of being in survival mode, in fight or flight, and you look at it and you see it, and yes, it may cause like a few little ripples of anxiety or panic or something very brief, and it literally comes up and it floats up and you feel it, and then it's gone. And after that, it's like you have all these thoughts of the options you could take, and you make the choices from a neutral feeling. That's been happening more often than not in my life. Or I will go into work and it's a very busy day and everyone's just like, we gotta get this done, we got it. And there's so much of this energy, and I walk in and I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. It's all good. Just breathe. Nothing's a big deal. Nothing is a big deal. But I used to be that person. I used to be those people. I used to be in that rat race. And don't get me wrong, I have moments. I still have moments where there's still some things that are being unraveled. But it's so much easier now. It's so much lighter now and quicker. And I'm actually having insight and solutions coming in the same time as something challenging is happening. I literally am having both voices at the same time. I have this panic narrative going on, but then this other voice is talking to me at the same time. But my nervous system and my mind are so much more calmer that I can hear that other voice. Because it's always there. It's just clouded by the nervous system. It's clouded by the unbalanced energies, the traumas, the triggers, the fears, the worries, the doubts. It's always there. That's why when you take time and breathe through it and move away from it and meditate, or maybe even just focus on doing something, or a few days later, when you're not even focused on it, all of a sudden it just hits you and you're like, I know what to do. Or you have an idea or a solution. That solution was there the whole time. It was just waiting for your nervous system to be calm enough for you to be open and receptive enough to actually hear it. But to get to a place where you literally have something that would normally give me a full-blown panic attack or anxiety attack, and I still feel an energy rise up of fear and maybe some anxiety, but it literally rises up and I feel it, but it doesn't completely overtake me. And as I'm feeling that, I'm like, I can move through this. And I breathe and I feel it slowly start to subside. And I'm hearing this other voice that says, it's not a big deal. We're good. We're safe. Don't worry about this right now. We'll deal with this later. And I literally sit there and I'm like, this was worth it. Everything. The sleepless nights, the restless legs, feeling like I'm going mad, going crazy, going mental, having so much brain fog, feeling wired and tired at the same time, feeling like I'm in a pressure cooker, stretched to the max, where I'm just putting one foot in front of the other foot day after day after day, being hit with so much energy coming in, and the body just being, body and mind and the emotions being taxed like to the max. It's worth it. Because it's like I pierced through the other side. And it's so peaceful and it's so calm. And it's just lovely. So that's what I've got for today. I will keep putting out more content on what I feel inspired to share. And I just really hope that I don't have any expectations, honestly, because what I put out there is none of my business for what it does to other people. But if this is beneficial to even just one person, that just, it makes my heart happy, honestly. So that is what I got. I hope whoever is watching this has the most amazing rest of their day. And we will talk later.